All right, well, things can be very stressful during the holiday season, and a mental health survey by the American Psychiatric Association finds nearly a third of Americans are more stressed out this year than last year. That study finds the top three sources of anxiety are affording holiday gifts, finding gifts, and the cost of holiday meals. So joining me right now is Dr. Amy Alexander with Stanford Health Care. So starting off, what advice do you have for those of us who might be dealing with stress related to gift giving?
Absolutely. It is so hard. And, um, you know, there's usually so much to do at this time and so many people to think about and give gifts to. One of my general recommendations is just to make sure you don't break the bank during this time. So stay within your means, know how much you can give people. Um, and sometimes what's difficult is the pressure to give presents. So I know some families have made decisions to do a secret Santa where everybody gives one gift and gets one gift, and they have a fun time seeing what kind of gifts they get. Um, for others with friends or family members, you could discuss it if it's really hard to have gifts about whether or not you want to do gifts at all. I've also seen that be a solution. Um, and yeah, I think just making sure that you are living within your means, especially in this time when there's a lot of pressure to spend a lot of money.
And there's also that old adage, I mean, it's the thought that counts too, right?
Absolutely. So sometimes some of the most meaningful gifts, I remember when I had COVID a few years back, one of the favorite things I got was my cousin's kids who drew cards for us and drew a COVID virus. you know, that's absolutely thoughtful and pretty much free and very meaningful. So especially when you have older relatives who have a lot of means and they are able to shower you with expensive gifts that you can't really reciprocate. Sometimes it's not necessary to reciprocate the amount
Mhm.
of money. Sometimes what they want is time, making a phone call or video call or putting the kids on a video with them or spending time with them when they come to visit. That's more meaningful than an expensive gift.
Absolutely. And speaking about time and just spending time with your family, I mean, a lot of people will get stressed about holiday travel or spending time with your family during the holidays. Like everyone feels pressure, they have to show up to everything.
Absolutely. Yes, we just don't have all the time and energy that we would like to have to do all these things. So setting some limits and understanding, picking and choosing the things that are going to be most meaningful, spend time with those, and it's okay to say no to some things during the holiday season. I also think that with travel, giving yourself as much time as possible. We know that yes, there's a lot of canceled flights or problems with traveling, and especially with the weather. That's helpful. And then also realizing that spending a lot of time with family members can be itself stressful. And sometimes when you're in close quarters for many days together, it actually can be normal to have some flare ups or irritation. So it's okay to take a break from each other, even if that means, heading to the room to take a nap or spending some alone time for a few hours or going outside to take a walk with some family members and giving your host a break.
Do you have advice as far as like what subjects to bring up at the holiday table? Like no politics?
Yeah, that is a really hard one. Especially there's a lot of the world events that are very distressing and causing a lot of suffering, and a lot of people are worried and but at the same time feel very helpless in terms of how to improve world situations. And unfortunately, there can be just differing opinions that can be distressing when it can end up in arguments and fights. So it's helpful to think about, would it be helpful to bring up something that could be political or could end up in an argument with people? Was that really the best topic to talk about?
Well, absolutely. Well, Dr. Alexander, thanks for joining us. Hoping everyone has a peaceful and a calm and stress-free holiday. So thank you very much for joining us.
Absolutely. You're very welcome.